What's going on, everyone? So this offseason, the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be targeting a star, right? Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, whoever else becomes available, right? Sure, you're going to see several names kind of thrown out there, Lakers hats in the ring. Now, there are some stars that may potentially become available that I just don't think are realistic, right? There's talks about like Jimmy Butler, even though Pat Riley said, that they're not trading him. You never really know. We've heard that a million times. But even then, Lakers, I don't know if they have enough to maybe go get. And would Pat Riley trade him to the Lakers? That's something to keep in mind. Devin Booker is another name that's kind of been circulating. And again, Lakers don't have the assets to compete with like an Oklahoma City Thunder or the New York Knicks, right? It's going to come down to stars that maybe kind of force or push their way to the Lakers, right? Trae Young, been linked to the Lakers. Donovan Mitchell is a player that it kind of seems like it's the Knicks or the Lakers based on reports. So he kind of pushes his way to the Lakers. We'll see. Time will tell. I know a lot of people don't really want to go the third star route. I know a lot of people don't really like the idea of Trae Young in particular. I've expressed I'm not super sold on Trae Young, but it's the Lakers. If we're being honest, if we're being real, they're going to go get that other star. They're not just thinking about now. They're also thinking about post LeBron James. They want that guy that they can kind of use as the foundation alongside Anthony Davis going forward and also kind of raise the ceiling this year. So look for the Lakers to potentially land a guy if they can. But if they do, right, you're going to have to trade a bunch of pieces, right? Donovan Mitchell, he's not making $45 million like Trae Young is, so you don't have to give up as much as far as like talent and depth, but the picks, obviously, that would go a long way. Trae, you'd have to give up essentially three guys to go get him, where Donovan, you basically Austin Reeves and Rui plus, 3 firsts and a pick swap or whatever, and there you go, there's Donovan Mitchell. Then you'd still have several other guys. But regardless of what happens, right, Max Christie, I think, this is going to be a huge kind of make or break year for him, in my opinion. We saw the strides that Max Christie took between year one and year two. Even this season, some of our best lineups had Max Christie out there because of his versatility on the defense side, his ability to create his own shot, his ability to knock down the shot and play off ball, right? He's really versatile. He's incredibly young, incredibly talented, incredibly gifted. I mean, he's a guy that, he's young enough to be drafted in this upcoming draft this year. He's 21. I mean, he's a guy that, you could mask and hide for the next 4 years and he'd still be basically the average age of this team. So there's tons of potential, tons of upside, tons of growth. I am super high on Max Christie. I have spoken numerous times about how good I think Max Christie can be as a player. I think he could legitimately be one of the premier 3-and-D 2 guards in this league. Like, genuinely, I think he has that kind of potential. He's got to continue to work. He's got to continue to take strides. He's got to continue to grasp and understand the game, right? He at times is a little undisciplined, but that comes with the lack of experience, for one, and, his age and youth and stuff like that. Now, I know a lot of people have thrown out, because when I've mentioned Max and like live stream stuff, they're like, oh, he's a free agent. He's not. I mean, he is, but he's not, right? It's the Austin Reeves situation all over again. Basically, Lakers have control over Max Christie. They can match whatever they need to match, which they will if need be. I also don't see, teams weren't offering max deals to Austin Reeves. I don't see them now going and doing the same thing to Max Christie, right? Maybe a team throws something out there because of his age, where Austin Reeves was just, he's like 4 years older. So that could be something, but I don't see a team coming in and offering Max Christie $25 million a year or anything like that. Max Christie will probably get a deal, similar to Austin Reeves. He'll probably make somewhere in the 11 to 13 million a year type range. But he's a guy that I think, especially if they land a star, right? Like, let's say they do trade for Trae, right? Again, just using him as an example. Well, now at that point, let's say you trade Austin Reeves, Rui, and let's just say like Gabe Vincent. Right. So now you're most people look at it as like, oh, well, now the Lakers are thin, right? You got Trae Young, you got LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Now you'd still have Jared Vanderbilt and Max Christie. I think Taurean Prince sticks around. Christian Wood, I think, could potentially stick around, especially without Rui. Now I think, would get a bigger role, bigger minutes, right? You get a proper head coach that knows how to properly utilize Christian Wood, not overly play Taurean Prince, right? Lakers would have basically 7 to 8 guys realistically. You'd have your taxpayer mid-level, and you'd have your vet minimums, right? Take a flyer on like a Kevin Porter Jr., bring him in. You could take a flyer on one of these other guys that are out there. Ideally, you want to get a center, right? Can you convince Valanciunas take taxpayer mid-level, right? If you promise him good minutes and a big role, right? Which I think he could play. Like, it gives you options there, right? So, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, if you trade for a star, Lakers have no depth. There's no talent. Well, no, they still would, right? They'd, like I said, they'd still be 7 guys deep. And then you just need to go get, 1 or 2 other guys, ideally, that can be quality kind of rotation player guys. And then once you get to the playoffs, you're only running 7, 8 guys anyway. So, like, let's say you go trade for a Trae Young, right? You then keep Christie, Vanderbilt, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. Let's say that that's your starting 5. Keep Taurean Prince, keep Christian Wood. Again, go get a Kevin Porter Jr., go get a Valanciunas or some type of center, maybe an Andre Drummond, something like that, right? And now you have more than enough, in my opinion, to be a contender. Now you got your 3 stars and stuff, but you'd also be leaning heavily into Max Christie, in my opinion, because he would have to help mask the defensive woes of a Trae Young. Now, I think, one, if you get a quality coach that understands and sees the versatility of Max Christie, a lot of people wanted Max Christie to play even in the Denver series, and he didn't. But if you get a proper coach that kind of sees the value in Max Christie and understands, like, okay, he can be versatile. Yes, he's young, so he's going to have his hiccups. You kind of use the regular season and kind of let him play through those things and kind of grasp that understanding. And, he's going to have his bad moments. He's going to have his great moments. He's going to have his okay moments, right? And you just kind of weather that because you understand, okay, like, it's about his growth and development because he's a piece not only now but for the future, but also his defensive versatility, I think, is really where it's valuable, right? Because, again, Trae Young, let's going under the assumption that they land Trae, just using him as an example again. Like, if they go and get a Trae Young, right? And then you also have LeBron James, who he's not able to play defense to the level that we're going to need him to play. I mean, LeBron's talked about it himself, that he just doesn't have it anymore. Like, he can't put it together for a full, 35 minutes a game like he used to, right? I mean, he talked about it on Mind the Game with JJ Redick. So it would be good to have a guy like Max Christie who has that youth. And like I said, you're seeing even in these playoffs, right? I mean, look at Minnesota. It's just a bunch of 20-somethings that are all just hyper athletic, excited, wet behind the ears, just going out there and hooping. Max Christie can be that guy, a guy that can go out there, wet behind the ears, and just hoop. Just play the game, right? And then there is always the off chance that, what if he does evolve this and he does take strides this offseason and he does become, not saying like a star or an all-star or anything like that, but what if he does become a legit two-way 3-and-D guy? What if he does shoot around like 40% from 3 and he's locking down the best play? What if he becomes, like a Jaden McDaniels, right? Like, again, not saying exactly like that, but not saying as great as Jaden, because, I mean, he's incredible, but, like, what if he becomes kind of our version at the shooting guard position, right? And he's a guy that you can put basically on the 1 through 3 and defend multiple positions and defend the length of the court and hit open shots. And what if he does? I mean, again, it's not, he had moments this past season. He just didn't really get consistency and opportunity, right? So to think that he can't, in consistency and a proper opportunity and role, actually play that part, I think it's silly to not think that that's a possibility, right? Now, I'm not saying you have to assume that, lock it in, that's definitely going to happen. But again, like, we saw a lot of the good stuff that we wanted to see. Now, can he just put it together for 35 minutes a game, something like that, or 30 minutes a game, whatever, right? I think it's something that he can. I think that this is the year that you start leaning in Max Christie heavily. I do. He's the young guy that, again, I mean, all of the metrics say, like, when he's on the court, good things happen, right? Because, again, he's getting after it. He's hustling. He's rebounding. He's hitting shots. He's creating his own shot, right? He's a guy that, if you got to give him the confidence, though, right? Like Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves had his emergence, right? Not 2 years ago now, right? And part of that was the confidence that the team and the head coach instilled in him. He had a great game, and it wasn't like, okay, you were great, let's get you back to, minimal minutes and stuff. No, it was like, oh no, like, hey, we need you, right? LeBron's out. Keep going. Do that again. Oh, he did it again, right? Keep going. Like, this is you. This is your world. We're living in your world. You have LeBron and Anthony Davis and everybody just really hyping him up, right? I think you could do the same thing with Max Christie, right? With these young guys, it's about confidence. But I mean, when he's not playing and he's getting inconsistencies and he's not properly put in position to have success, it's like, what do you expect, right? But I believe in Max Christie. I think Max Christie has a ton of upside, ton of potential, and can really take some big strides for this team on both sides of the basketball. But we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts on Max Christie? Do you like the idea of him kind of stepping into starting role or a bigger role? Even if he doesn't start, right? Like, let's say you do get somebody else, right? That makes more sense, starting unit. I still think you should play him pretty heavily, and let's start seeing what this kid can do, right? Seriously. But again, love your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. We enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.